good morning from me, wherever you are in the world. So if you are in Australia with Stuart, etc., then I guess it's good afternoon or even good evening. And if you're in the Middle East, as Kieran is, then just about good afternoon to you. I think that the last, let's call it 12 to 15 months, all of us have really realized with COVID that the world is precious, our families are precious, and we really need to be making sure that we're looking after the planet. And that, of course, has meant people taking more of an interest in ESG. So what is it? Well, it really does, actually, those ESG words really gives you a whole spectrum. And the more you dig into those words, you'll realize that it's a very, very complex subject. So we're talking about the environment, fairly obviously. We're talking about reducing plastics. We're talking about reducing carbon. We're trying to make the environment better for everybody. Global warming comes as part of it. And I'm going to say it only comes as part of it. The whole structure of making the environment better. And then we talk about social. When we talk about social, we can talk about wages. That actually can come under governance as well. But we talk about, are people being underpaid? Are people taking advantage? Are companies taking advantage of people in other countries? And then we also talk even about, in today's world, about data. Okay, so when we talk about social, we can be talking about WhatsApp recently allowing the information to go to Facebook, and you go, Facebook, own it. Yes, but it actually comes under this subject of social. What should our expectations be? Okay, so let's just talk about some of the reasons why people may want to invest in this direction. Okay, so the first one's nice and simple. It is a mega trend, in my opinion. What's yours? So historically, one of the best ways to invest money would have been to study the baby boomers. So many of you will be familiar with the phrase, 1946, the war finished, and there was a start of a baby boom. But now what we're doing is we're getting to a situation where the baby boomers are either retired or retiring. So now the baby boomers, instead of investing money, they're not the ones driving the trends anymore to a large extent. They may have the money, but they're actually taking that money out if they're retired, or they're passing that money to their children and their grandchildren. In fact, it's said that over the next 10 years, there will be a transference of wealth of 30 trillion. Okay, that's absolutely a crazy number, but that money's going to the millennials. And what do the millennials want to do? And they're actually the ones that are earning the money at the moment. So you've got the baby boomers, they may have it. They've got it invested. They've got it invested where they want to at the moment, passing it across to millennials, but the millennials are the ones earning money. So new money going into the market. Okay, what's it doing? Where's it going? And where are they spending their money? Okay, well, millennials are more likely, and of course I'm generalizing, that's why I say it's a subject where there's degrees. They're more likely to have less meat. In fact, they're more likely to buy an electric car. They're more likely to invest in property that has solar panels or is seen as eco-friendly. Of course, not 100% of millennials are in that direction, but a much, much larger percentage choose to have a way of life which is more friendly to the planet. So therefore, if they're spending their money, and that's the bulk of the population coming through, they're the ones getting the pay rises, they're the ones getting the promotions. If they're spending their money on friendly or ESG type funds or type products or type companies, then guess what? Those companies are more likely to be successful. And as those companies are more successful, then of course, more money gets invested in that direction. Okay, governments are also doing incentives right the way around the world, or putting in compulsory rules. So there's various countries around the world, as you well know, that have banned plastics, have gone in particular directions where they've said that this is no longer allowed. Okay, many countries are doing various things and will continue to do various things. In the past, you would see that ESG funds would actually give you an inferior performance. Right now, you don't see that. You actually see the ESG funds are giving the same performance or similar performance to a fund that would be spread across all asset classes and all various different investments. So the institutions are following. They go where the money is. At the end of the day, the fund managers are looking at it and saying, okay, that's working. That's where people want to invest. As Kieran says, we've seen a massive jump of around 20% increase in the last 12 months of money that has gone into ESG specifically.